Stakes are high in the penultimate round of the West Gippsland football competition. Today's Fairhaven Homes Match of the round will see 4th place Nar Nar Goon fend for themselves at enemy territory here at Tooradin. The Sovereigns of Toordain-Dal were beaten last week by Phillip Island, who are just astern in 2nd place. Nar Nar Goon are 4th and still in the race for 3rd position, relying on the Dusties today to defeat Inverloch Kongwak. Proudly supported by Totally Workwear with stores in Pakenham, Warragul, Traralgon and Wonthaggi, there will be quality football for all eyes to see. Last week, the Seagulls' floors were exposed, and this week, Nar Nar Goon will be working overtime to have their first seed endangered, but the vociferous mob from Tooradin and Dalmore have been classy all year and will hope to repeat it one more time against a final side, and they can lock the first position away with a win today. Quick disclaimer, no Bailey Allen today, no Kyle Pover, so I'll be running the show. I'll try to be as uplifting as I can. There might be a few dull spots, but nonetheless we are set up for a great game here at Toordain-Dal, and the last time these two sides played, it was in round 10, and Toordain-Dal, they did handle Nar Nar Goon, and we'll see if Nar Nar Goon have been able to watch the tape again. Both sides are still warming up. It was Toordain-Dal at Nar Nar Goon by 32 points, and that was where Stuart Scanlon kicked 5 goals, which definitely isn't an anomaly. He's been a high-scoring goal kicker all year, leading the charge, and one that's in combat with him is Dermot Yorney, who's off the back of 9 goals last week. They defeated Corumbarabina by 164 points over at Nar Nar Goon, and last week for Tooradin, as I mentioned, the most prestigious side of the comp fell for their first loss all year against Phillip Island, who are out for retribution, and we're nearly set to go today. Just waiting for the umpires to give us the green light. And last week for Toordain-Dal, there was only one multiple goal scorer, and they'll definitely look to have a team-oriented approach today, but we are all set, ready to go, and first out the blocks, Nar Nar Goon enter their forward 50. It might bowl them all, and it does. It goes out of bounds. And a quick start for Nar Nar Goon. Couple of late changes today for Nar Nar Goon. They've brought in Jed Murphy, and like Toordain-Dal, they've brought in Connor O'Riordan, and a snap at the pack will fall short. Right on the goal line. Dylan Wilson able to bring it back in for McCaffer, who will have plenty of possessions today if he isn't tagged. He has been in recent weeks, but he finds a vacant man at left half back. Now they approach to the wing where the pack began to form, but Nar Nar Goon had the outnumber. Penny signalling to kick it long. He's a little stagnant, but his forwards aren't. Yorney, he's the main target, and he takes the mark this time. Too strong for Connor O'Riordan. And Nar Nar Goon immediately will have their first shot. Bodywork of Dermot Yorney is always a sight to see. His goal kicking as well. He's kicked 3 bags above 7, including 9 last week. And he'll hope to get on the board early and give their team the start they love to have. And they have done exactly that. Yorney on the board over a minute in here at Toordain-Dal. One straight 6. And Toordain-Dal yet to score on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard. As we mentioned, Dermot Yorney all year has imposed himself in plenty of situations where they need a goal, injected some life into the game. He's been at Nar Nar Goon just this year. He's averaging under 5 goals per game, an outrageous number. Up there with the likes of Jason Wells, Stuart Scanlon. And we'll see if he can have his imprint on the game. Up in the ruck again for Toordain-Dal. McKenna, but it's slipping away. Parker with a looping hand pass over the top. Entering the scene was Kelly. Left it with the footy and now to the wing. McKenna, Oxley backtracking back to McCaffer, who loads up to left half forward, has a lead present. Didn't reach it there, it was chopped off by the defence for the Goon. And now they work in tandem, but it's cut off. Scanlon with a hand pass over the top and an open shot at goal beckons, and Tooradin and Dalmore have the instantaneous response. Liam Adams on the board, and we're all square at 6. A lively game, much like last night. Back in the middle. All square at 6. Goal for goal. The 2 number 4s will contend in the air. And it leaks out to the back, edging closer to the wing. But a free kick has been pinned out in the way of Tooradin. And they'll enter forward through the agency of Parlberg. And in the middle it's Egan. Kicked the first goal the last time we commentated them over at Inverloch. Swings it to Wilson, and another inside 50 entry, and this time the mark is plucked as well. Just clean football played by both sides. Ideal conditions. And this shot will be from about 45 metres out. Any score will give them the first lead of the day. Oxley delayed the give back, and another entry broken up in the air. Marks being claimed, and it's given. And just like that, the Seagulls went from being 50 metres out to being 30 metres out, directly in front. And now they'll line up for their first lead of the game. As Luke McKenna comes off for a spell. He's been doing the ruck duties early on. A high quality matchup and goals. There will be plenty of them, and there's already been 3 kicked already. This time it's Liam Adams again who doubles up. And the Seagulls do not relent, as they have all year. They kicked 2 goals straight away after Nar Nar Goon kicked the first, and it's 2 straight 12 to 1 straight 6. Peter Wright will overtake the ruck duties. Up he flies against Parker, who brought it down. It's slapped forward. Wilson, hand pass over the top, put his teammate at immediate danger, and we'll have another ball up. Again in the centre of the ground. Parker trying to get some leverage, but gives away a free kick in the end. Peter Wright will load up. Off to Oxley, who bashes it forward. Joining the throng. Scanlon was loitering out the back. That kick scrapped away. Only some metres covered. And again, we'll have a ball up at centre half forward. Toordain-Dal by 6. 8 minutes into this one. Parker over to Penny, who tried to tap it in front of himself. Lost it in the meantime. Now it makes its way over to the wing. Trezise. The ball held up in the mud, and Trezise copped a brutal bump. Now to right half forward. A dropped mark allows the Goon to work in relay, and they do. They chain up their hands and across the back line. McCaffer will have to chase after this, as is his teammate in Johnny Duff, who will apply the pressure, and he did extremely well. Plenty of longitude experienced in the tackle, but it doesn't stop the Goon from moving forward. And a boundary throw in at the wing. Just 7.5 minutes in, but plenty of action Already 3 goals kicked. 2 for Liam Adams for Tooradin-Dalmore. Peaver Wright scrambling the ball forward, and the mark's been taken by his teammate in Brewer. Plays on, gives it plenty. A one-on-one at right half forward again. The Mud has its say. Able to lick it up by hand. Jake Smith out to the wing and perched underneath. Trent Noy unable to mark Trezise. In fact, he's been paid the mark. To left half forward this time for the Goon. Spills out the back. Yorney! Almost, but he's missed to the near side. And there's the first minor score of the day. And a 5-point margin for the Seagulls opens. Oxley from full back. Thorough kick out to the wing. McKenna, who's back on, able to pick it up. Trezise out of his grasp, and another boundary throw in. And you can see the impacts of the mud already. Players just have to trudge through it. Parker again. Noy laying the tackle. Proctor was dispossessed and infringed. So Noy to send the Goon into their attacking forward 50, if he decides to. Which he does on the left foot, out wide. The numbers are with Toordain-Dal, and the mark was nearly brought down by Matthew Humphrey. Still a 5-point lead on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard. In the ruck again, Humphrey, Penny entered the frame, couldn't quite attract the football, but he gets it back, snaps on the left, and it's eluded the ball and bounced through for a goal. It's almost like the ball wanted to be in Penny's hands, and he puts Nar Nar Goon back in front. 2-1-13 to 2 straight 12 on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard. Have to be active on the defensive line if you're the Seagulls there. And McKenna again in a tangle with his opposing ruckman and the Goon. Get it to centre half forward. Humphrey. Ball just launch padded off his chest. And now McCaffer brought down in the tackle. Still released it up to their forward 50. Escaping with the football. Hand pass a little errant by Brewer. But again it bounces back in. The defence hold up. Heavily fortified back there. They'll need to be again. Parlberg sweeping on the right. And finding Brady Egan at left half forward. He'll load up right on the boulevard of 50. He's had VFL experience before, Brady Egan. For Frankston, he's played in the Neefle, but he's finally found a home at Tooradin-Dal. He decides to take it to the pockets, where the mark has been reeled in. Definitely more complex of an angle. He has to get the angles correct. He snaps it around. Misses to the near side. And we're level at 13 apiece. Totally Workwear, Pakenham scoreboard. Saturday afternoon footy out in Tooradin-Dal. Perfect conditions. And we have an arm wrestle here as Nar Nar Goon have the ball in the middle. And they play on Penny, who's already kicked the 1 goal, lofts the kick high. Humphrey had to battle in the air, nearly taken high as the umpire took a tumble. Entering Humphrey, noise kick, a little indiscriminate. And dispute at half forward, will have a ball up. McKenna composed himself, tapped it down. And a throw against Andrew Proctor, and Penny, who's already propping up for his fourth disposal, hooks the kick with the left. A lot of distance. Yorney with front position. It's a free kick to the back line. Adam Oxley, the ex-Magpie, has the tendency to load up and kick out to the wing, but he decides to take the shorter option in Lenders, who now goes to the wing. McKenna presenting and claiming, but dropping. Still at ground, clamouring out of there now. Noy is also loitering. Can't get to the ball. Homfray taken in a mean, ferocious tackle by Brewer. In fact, it was Jake Smith. Has to be disciplined with this kick. Sets up the framework for Yorney again. Well defended by O'Riordan, but he might have given away a free kick. The umpire says a throw in, and he does extremely well. As we take a quick water break here at Tooradin-Dalmore. Play resumes. It spills out the back. And now the fast break continues. Trezise edging it forward. Right. Almost laying the tackle. Fancy footwork from the Goon defence allowed it to go out of bounds. 70 out from the Seagulls goal. It's still tied at 13 apiece. 14 minutes in. The first quarter on a totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard. Right. Bradley Homfray. Should be another whistle here. Cooper Purcell raring to get back on as right with body use and strength. Just dismantled his opponent, but the Goon work it wondrously to the centre of the pitch. McKenna breaking the shackles. Needs to dispose of it. Finally did. Out the back door. Adams to the wing. A one-on-one. Even numbers, but it's well worked by Blackwood. Sliding to the ground. The Seagull. And here is Blackwood retrieving it again. Interchanging through hands. Penny to centre half forward over the head of Parlberg. Again, they're all tied up. Right to the boundary line. Mark taken by Jake Smith. Analysing the situation ahead, has plenty of leads. Left, right and centre, but he tosses it up in the air for his forwards to catch. Yorney did and was given the mark, and he has a wry smile on his face because he knows the defence may have touched that. He's already kicked one today, Dermot Yorney. The opening goal of the game. Scores are tied. A game that the Goon are desperate to win to ensure a fourth and maybe even third position. And he's always reliable, Dermot Yorney. The Goon kick their third and take a 6-point lead on your totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard. Yorney with 2 for Nar Nar Goon. Penny with 1. And for Toordain-Dal, Liam Adams also with 2. Aggressive footy on display at Tooradin, where the top seed off the back of their first loss of the season find themselves down a goal midway through the first quarter. Neither ruckman had a piece of it, and playing a bit of basketball, Trigg had an acquaintance nearby. It's a bit of a muffled ball to centre half forward, and again the defence show a clean pair of heels out of there. Hill laid the kick short. It was a bit of a grubber, and operations were put to a hold as the ball was locked away. Finally, it makes its way out. Adams again, nearly taken high, got the kick away, and Brewer parked underneath. Takes the longer option. Peaver right. Has it in his clutches. And he'll line up to again tie the score. Much like plenty of his teammates and plenty of opposition players, he's had VFL experience. He's also had AFL experience, but he's now at Tooradin, elevating his game to a new level, and scores again are tied at 19. Pever Wright converts for the home side, who have been challenged. It's 3 goals, 1 apiece. And we've already had a goal of the day contender, our King G Trade Comfort Max. If you missed it earlier, Jeconiah Penny did well to again collect the footy. Should have been touched on the goal line, but it bounced through anyways. Another ball up will occur 19 minutes into the first quarter. Trigg, Brewer, head first, Parlberg, McCaffer from a standing start, blasts it with a torpedo. Nice strong aerial presence, but he dropped it. Adams hoping to kick his third. Misses to the left side. And the Seagulls regain the lead. Speeding out of defence for the Goon. Out to the wing where the numbers begin to multiply. Bounced obligingly for Parker, who got a kick away with his non-preferred left. And the handball for Trigg worked well. He had space, but a capacious field ahead of him as well. Noy just had to take the mark, and he didn't. And they hold up in defence. McCaffer takes it out, and at the right half forward, we'll have a boundary throw in. 50 out from Nar Nar Goon's goal. And Noy in the ruck this time. Tapping it down, the crumb opportunity. Taken! And the Goon reply with their 4th. Brendan Herman on the board. And the Goon hold a 5-point lead. Back in the middle, we'll have some around the ground scores for you shortly. Trigg, Brewer hacks it out of midair to centre half forward. It was actually a productive kick in the end. But out the back hatch, Kelly gathered under his control. And again, a confident kick out wide, but the numbers are streaming forward for the Goon. Out at the wing, they've got options. Penny through the middle. Prominent fist in the end by the defence. And now they can repel. They do to right half forward. Almost a strong mark by Scanlon. He still takes it upon himself. But he blazes away to the left side. Would have been probably the winner for our Fused by King G mark of the day. Just couldn't hang on in the end, Stuart Scanlon. But we're 15 metres out from the Seagulls' goal. Need to get boot to ball. Into time on 22 minutes through this first quarter. And it's the Goon by 5 points. Playing an attacking brand of footy. Another tackle is laid and another ball up will ensue. Parker. Trezise snapping from the pack. Missing to the right. Well, around the grounds at Coralline, they lead Kuwira up by 16 points. And Garfield at home also leading by 17 points Inverloch Kongwak, as we mentioned in the pre-game show, need to lose in order for Nar Nar Goon to step up to third place. But they're currently beating Warragul Industrials by 8 out at Warragul. And another throw in at centre wing, opposite to the broadcast side. Mitchell Homfray hoping to get back on soon, as players just halted for a fraction of a second. Now brought back in. High throw in. Suarez v Parker. Parker in the end with a mini win. And extracting it out of there, but Parker lays a strong tackle. We'll have another ball up. "23.5 minutes in as Parker spikes it forward, but out of bounds. And as we know, Tooradin-Dal, after last week's loss, they only hold a 4-point lead on the ladder over Phillip Island, who were playing out at Phillip Island against Bunyip today. Suarez emerges, laying another tackle for another ball up. Still plenty of players on the bench just hoping to get back on, but the majority of players surrounding this ball up. Centre wing, Parker again. Just racking up the tackles at the moment. And Tooradin-Dalmore's percentage of 290 is the highest by at least 84%. McCaffer manufactured a hand pass out. Trezise head first over the footy. Another scuffle, and the ball can't make a way out. It does in the end. It'll be holding the ball. And Trezise, he'll leave it with a booming left foot kick. A 2-on-1 for Pever Wright, who's generally great in those situations. And another throw in, this time 40 out from the Seagulls goal. Fell short of the ruckman. Out of the pack, bending it towards goal. And it's wide again. And Tooradin-Dal with the 2 extra scoring shots, but they're inaccurate today. 3-4 to 4-1 on the Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard. So the Goon will scurry out of defence. Large congregation of players out at the wing. Blackwood just dropped the mark, entering head first. Now hand passing over to the wing. Purcell had Pipicelli nearby. Went to left half forward. It bounces over the back. It's taken by Noy, who has Yorney on short. And he's missed him. Missed the goal as well. And the Goon with their second behind of the day. Hurried kick out of defence will fall short. And Smith takes it, plays on, centering ball. And Brendan Herman, who's already kicked the 1 goal today, will line up for his second. Deep into this first quarter. 26.5 minutes in. Brendan Herman, who won the best and fairest last year, knows he has the talent, had the distance also, not the accuracy. And the Goon lead it by 5. Oxley from full back for the Seagulls. To the wing, McKenna dropped a mark that probably should have been taken. Pressure was enough to affect it. Well done in the end by James Cairns. A shallow throw in. McKenna and Trigg just trying to out-muscle and out-bustle each other. Trigg went again. Herman engulfed by the McCafford tackle immediately. We're 55 out from the Goons' goal. Trigg this time, just hurling it forward. Oxley has his say. Tosses it up in the air. McKenna camped underneath it. Wasn't paid the mark. Umpire said play on. Herman scraping it together. Fishing the hand pass back for Kelly, who moves it across to Jake Blackwood. Has a short man on in Bedio. Takes it wider for Humphrey. A chipping ball, but a strong, important punch. Out of bounds by Dylan Wilson. Nearly 28.5 minutes into this first quarter. McKenna. Humphrey carving his way through. Lenders. Again out the back. Wilson. McCaffer. And another boundary throw in. 7 goals collectively kicked in this first quarter. A couple of multiple goal scorers. Liam Adams with 2. Yorney could have had 2. McKenna and McCaffer. And another ball up. After a high-octane start, the last couple of minutes have just slowed down. Lenders couldn't control it. And now some poise needs to be shown, and is shown by the Seagulls. Out away. Adams, who's already kicked 2 goals, had to be aware of the man behind him. And now Hill, right on the back of Smith. Played it in front of him. They spill to ground. And it's locked away at the wing. Not long left in this first quarter. Nearly into 30 minutes. Right. Punching it out. Escaping with a kick that was slightly defective, but the Seagulls, they'll have some time if they can work it out, and they do off the turnover. Again, the defence have reinforcements out the back line to open space. Motoring onto it is Murphy in his first game back. And another whistle, but that will do it for the first quarter. And what a quarter it was. It's the Goon who lead it on opponent territory. They're taking it up to the 1 seed at the moment. A long, extended 30-minute first quarter, but aren't we enjoying it here? It's Nar Nar Goon who lead Tooradin-Dal by 5 points in the first quarter. We'll take a short break and we'll give you the wrap-up after this.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm going enough. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
The first quarter in favour of Nar Nar Goon, who lead it by 5 points. Out at Tooradin-Dal, neither team able to stifle the run of goals and attacks by either side. And for Nar Nar Goon, goals kicked by Dermot Yorney, Jeconiah Penny, Brandon Herman and Pever Wright with one, while Liam Adams kicked the first two for Toordain-Dal. And it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back. But in these conditions, attacking brands of footy are usually on notice, and they have been in this first quarter. Trigg v McKenna in the ruck has been a battle to watch. Neither really winning it dominantly, but they're both able to cancel each other out and win their own ball at ground level as well. Nearly set and ready to go. Nar Nar Goon's endeavours to enter the third position also rely on Warragul, but they can begin it here with a win against the top seed, who are 15-1. 1-15 on the trot before their first loss last week. And again, the Goon out of the middle. Smith's kick forward. Penny lunging himself. McKenna able to scoop it up to centre half forward for the Seagulls this time. Parker off the grass. McCaffer hurls it forward, taken high in the back line. Pipicelli distributing out wide. Parker. He's paid the mark. And he plays on quickly, bracing for contact, but taking the mark was his teammate just further down the line at centre wing. He's just getting up slowly. It was a big bump. And now he spears one forward. Now the deepest target up forward is still Yorney. It'll have to get through this barricade first. Unable to progress, but some distance being made. Left half forward. About 55 out from the Goons' goal. Testing the Seagulls at the moment. Noy out of the ruck. Punches it wide. Right on the barrier. Trying to keep it in play. And it'll either be a whistle for ball up, or is it high? It is. And the Seagulls get away with one. Not a lot to select from. And he just kicks it in hope of a mark up forward. Right, barreled into his opponent. Maybe a bit of friendly fire as well. Right was the next handball in the chain, but instead it was a kick long. And a 2-on-1 out back. Smith, the furthest backman, who has room to manoeuvre, out to the wing. Trigg will rise. Can't quite reel it down. Parlberg off to Egan, to Oxley. From a standing start, his kick astray. And Pipicelli in defence. Parker, left half back. Just lugs on over to Humphrey, who searches through the middle. Able to swipe it away the defence. Oxley over to Adams. And now this kick is short. Smith and Adams both had a piece of it, but man in front, always given the benefit of the doubt. Trigg, short ball, able to intervene. Seagulls defence. And again a wide kick. Smith will track this down and does. Through the centre of the ground they go. Almost over the head of Humphrey of the Bradley variety. And we'll have a ball up. Just even of centre, but closer to the wing. Trigg and McKenna to fight it out again, and they do. Right, taken high as he was trying to pierce his way through. That's McCaffer on short. Blackwood waiting for it. Making a lead was Proctor. Trezise is also up forward. He'll be right underneath this one. Doesn't have the height, but has the skill. Perfectly positioned. And James Trezise, the wrong side for a left footer. But he'll line up to give the Seagulls the lead again. A flashy player. Someone who can inject some real life into the game when they need it. And they need it to get the lead now. And he's done exactly that. Never in doubt for James Trezise. The Seagulls by 1 on the Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard. Trigg and McKenna both had a piece of it. Another ball up. Trigg. McCaffer off the left, this time right with front position. Spoiled at the back and taken high. Trent Adams. A little unsavoury were his teammates with the service that he received. But nonetheless, Trent Adams to give the Seagulls their largest lead of the game, surprisingly. Will have to kick from about 50. The angle is pretty insignificant, but the kick was, and he strikes it true. Another goal for Tooradin-Dalmore, 2 in quick succession. Three goals kicked between both of the Adams. Trent Adams with 1, Liam Adams with 2. And Tooradin-Dalmore with 2 goals in the first 6 minutes of this second quarter. Trigg up against Suarez this time. He receives the hand pass. McCaffer, a bit of an unconventional kick, but it works in the end. And marks are being taken everywhere you look for Tooradin-Dalmore at the moment. Trent Adams from the exact same position. Challenged in the first quarter, but they've taken it right up to Nar Nar Goon. And Trent Adams has been a big piece of that. Fell short. Not many players on the goal line. Parker made a little bit of a meal of it, but we'll have a ball up about 20 out from goal. Right. Parker spills around. Right's kick slightly deflected. It all unwinds out of bounds. Seagulls by 7. Just approaching the 7.5 minute mark. Right. Brewer. Adams again. Just missed Brewer. Proctor on the back of his opponents. Now right. Trying to break his way through. Adams again has done it. And they all surround him. It was Liam in the first quarter, and now it's Trent in the second, who has 2 against his name. And they have certainly flicked the switch. A 13-point lead for the Seagulls. They can't let this get out of hand, can the Goon? Trigg. Blackwood to left half forward. Homfray motoring onto it. And then he dispossessed his opponent, but the umpire let it roll. But it won't matter because Penny has it under his control. Usually disciplined in these scenarios. Yorney had brute strength, couldn't quite take the mark. Falling to ground, the defence. Bit of panic settling in. Not too much for the moment, but it's escorted out of bounds. And another throw in. Trigg let it bounce through to his teammate, who was wedged between a couple. It still overflows of the pack and then back in for another ball up. 9.5 minutes in. Tooradin-Dalmore with 3 goals against their name. But they're trying to put a stop to it, a Nar Nar Goon, but they can't get any further. Liam Adams able to be rewarded, but he turns over the kick. And the Goon will venture into the 50, and Jeconiah Penny will line up from 50 out. Takes the shorter option. And now they'll have a shot from about 20 metres out. And it's Brendan Herman who's been lively up forward. He's already kicked one goal today from about 50 metres out. This is about 25 metres out, but a tough angle. And a goal is needed. A crucial time, but Herman can't deliver that time. And it's 6-4 to 4-4. Adam Oxley. Dainty kick over to the Lenders. Screaming for the footy out of the ball. His teammate Egan, and he went over his head. It makes its way out the back. The kick taken short. Mackenzie, and now his teammate inside 50, pushed as soon as he kicked inside, and another boundary throw in. High throw in. Trigg out of defence. And it's taken away. Scanlon. There's numbers running by. McCaffer was one of them. And relocating Scanlon. Kick-to-kick footy at the moment. Parlberg in the middle. But it sails to half forward. Just over the head of Pipichelli. And approaching is McKenna for Egan, who's made his way into the forward line. And now he'll go back to have a shot from where Trent Adams was a couple of times. Third year with Tooradin for Brady Egan. He's been all around, plenty of other leagues. Great amount of distance in it. Off to the right again. 6-5, plays 4-4. Not a lot of outlets to select from at the moment. Out of full back. To the wing. And the punch at the front of the pack from Wilson. Enough to see it out of bounds. Just struggling to form the coherent attack in Nar Nar Goon at the moment. Contrary to the first quarter where they did pile on 4 goals. Trigg fell short. They need to be composed in defence. Brewer, Trezise, burrowing his way through, but taken in the tackle. Won't be holding the ball. Benefit of the doubt for Stephen Robb. Suarez slaps it forward. Trezise removes his opponent from the equation. Scanlon almost. In the end, did well. And it's out of bounds for another throw in. Not too far out from the Seagulls' goal. Who will only look to inflict more pain on the Goon. Most of the ball with the Seagulls, but they're only down 13 points are the Goon. Just need to hack it out of defence, and they do that with a tumbling ball. Taken out of it, Homfrey, Penny with space, with attributes. To the wing, brought down in the tackle. And replying, Brewer didn't expect it to come his way, and Parker anticipated it well. And he'll load up to centre half forward. They all converge. Wilson over to Oxley, who feeds the hand pass through. Necessary intervention by Herman, who's already kicked the 1 goal. He might receive it back, and he does. Looping hand pass over the top for Kelly, whose teammate might have just hindered him. Anthony Young dives back over the footy. Body's just travelling every way. Umpire let it play. And eventually the footy's extricated. Out to half forward for the Seagulls. Suarez down to ground. Right on his back. Bedio. And after that passage of play, we take a breath. The Seagulls are back at half forward. Suarez, right, juggling it. Over to Brewer, back to Trezise. Towards goal, on the left. It's floating. It's just missed. Seagulls by 14. 15 minutes into the second quarter. They've kicked 3 unanswered goals. Trent Adams with 2. James Trezise with 1. And Dermot Yorney has been negated well in this second quarter. Blackwood from full-back. Guides the kick to centre-half back. Mark wasn't paid. Herman taken without it. And it'll be a free kick for that man, Brendan Herman. Numbers ahead of the footy. Took the one who was impeded by 2 Seagulls. Still stays alive. Not for long. A ball up at centre wing. 6-6 to 4-4. We'll get some around the ground scores in a moment. We're 16 minutes through this second quarter rather. Flying high. Out of the ruck. Go the Goon. Threading it through and then kicking it high into the 50. Trigg wasn't able to reach it in time. The defence can work it out. Egan with Parker on him, and Egan sprinting towards the footy, slaps it in front of himself, and now he has space. Had a teammate nearby who can venture forward. Has a shot at goal, pulls it right, and hits the post. It was Lewis Hill. Blackwood. Have to settle it down for the moment. And they do. Pipicelli is the goalkeeper at the back. To the wing. Oxley. With authority took the mark. And now he heaves it forward. Suarez at the back. Brewer with his input. Suarez in the end throwing his body around and throwing his opponents around as well. The ball up 50 metres out from the Seagulls' goal. Knocked to the outer side. Another throw in, but out at Bunyip. Phillip Island lead them by 13 points, 23 to 10. Coralline at home defeating Cooey Rupp by 48 points in a statement game. 74 points, and it's not even half time yet. As the Goon edged forward again, Lenders, and they retaliate just like that in the air. The ball just springs around and then taken by Armour. Hasn't been too visible today, but we know how quick it can make an impact. To the wing again. McKenna was involved. Noy just attached to his opponent, who finally falls to ground. Another ball up. Garfield hoping to get their first win, leading Daleston by 28 points at home, as McKenna tapes it to his opponent, and another whistle. And Inverloch Congwack at Warragul leaded by 29 points. So for Nar Nar Goon, if they do happen to win, you'd think they'd remain in 4th position as they gracefully move forward. Time to swing around. The kick falls short. Trezise in the back line. Lenders punts it out wide, and a great mark in the end is taken by Trezise. Short poking ball for Parlberg. He's happy to activate Oxley through the middle if he can just get it there. Homfray did extremely well. Little chip over the top for Noy, who's got the footwork in him. And the kick is also short of his teammate, who tried to find someone nearby. Couldn't. Oxley again. Homfray bombarding the opponents. But a mark of the day contender for James Trezise. Back with the flight. At the opposite wing, it's Nar Nar Goon. Trail this by 15 points. Need a goal before half-time. They're yet to kick one in this quarter, and here is their chance. Homfray. Yorney can unveil himself as a threat again. Needs to make a lead. He's teetering between the goal square and making a lead. So the ball is taken out a little wider. Noy on the left. Get some leverage on it. We'll have another throw in about 20 metres out from the Goons' goal. Homfray out of the ruck. McKenna attempting to save the quarter where they've held Nar Nar Goon to 0 goals. Beaten up in the tackle again. And it's holding the ball, I believe, as we just wait for the umpire say. And 50 metres. Well, unnecessary acts like that do hurt. A coach killer. As McCaffer takes it inside. Rob lowers the eyes, but Homfray able to cut it off. And now a multitude of players are flowing forward for the Goon. Holding his weight down in the back line. A seagull. The hand passes are worked again. Great pressure right now from the Goon. Again, Wilson with agility on display. Out to the wing. And they hold up again. Decamp to the wing to the Seagulls. Yet to concede a goal in this second quarter. 22 minutes in. Dropping a mark. Inexplicably McKenna. But he makes amends. Falls back into the back line. McCaffer. Right back pocket. Probably didn't need to be that far, but he is. To the wing. Open man in Oxley. Takes off. On the overlap, had a teammate whose kick went out of bounds. So the Goon have done well to suppress the flow. The Seagulls kicked 3 goals early in this second quarter, and they haven't kicked one since, but the Goon need to attack and just bring the game back on their own terms. Right v Trig. Right, the staunch structure able to belt it out of there. But it fell fortuitously into the lap of O'Sullivan, who heads to the wing. Penny diving down, couldn't take the mark. Squirts out the back, and another throw in. Going on 23 and a half minutes on the second quarter. Three goals to 0 in this second quarter if you've just joined us here at Tooradin. And again, Adams into the 50. Scanlon, who hasn't kicked one yet, but he sets up his teammate who might kick another. And the Seagulls finally back on the board. We were waiting for it. They have been irrepressible in this second quarter. 4 goals to none. And they lead it by 21. Blake Brewer kicks his first of the day. And into the main break. It will be soon. Toordain-Dal holding a 21-point lead. Sticking the foot in there. Getting the altitude on the kick. Smith couldn't take the mark. And a ball up. McKenna v Trigg. McKenna again. Trezise also involved. And included in the play, Blackwood to the wing. Even numbers, 2-on-2. Waiting out the back was Homfrey, who just laid the tackle. Trezise speculating by hand, receiving it back and now settling himself, looking for a target inside 50. Brewer nearly taken high. And he gets it back. Has a teammate on the outer side, streaming towards goal. And he's missed. The crowd would have erupted if Lewis Hill could kick that goal. Instead, it's a 22-point lead. Just have to ward off a couple more attacks. There can't be too long left in this second quarter. 25.5 minutes through. Screaming to switch it is Noy on the bench. Blackwood takes it wide. It's 4-4 to 1 behind in this second quarter. Tooradin and Dalmore have completely taken control. Oxley from the side. Standing tall. Adams. And now they're off again. Brewer. Almost, but he's given away the free kick instead. Pipicelli. Just reading the play ahead of him. Short kick. Disrupted in the moment was his teammates. And now slung around in the tackle. Play continues. And now a dispute. As the siren sounds for half-time. And what a response it was by the Seagulls. They were challenged in the first quarter, but as quality sides do, they responded with fury. A 4-goal second quarter to 0 for Nar Nar Goon, and they hold a 22-point lead. Entering the main change. Again, we will take a quick break and we'll recap the action right after this. Saturday afternoon football, proudly brought to you by Fairhaven Homes.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm a river. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in river. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in river. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in river. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah.
An energetic first half saw Tooradin-Dalmore kick 7 goals. 4 of them were unanswered in the second quarter. The first quarter saw Nar Nar Goon leading it by 5 points, and they have both come out of their huddles with some energy. We'll see how Nar Nar Goon can reply. It was Tooradin-Dalmore with 4 in the second quarter, as I mentioned, 2 for Trent Adams, and in the first quarter it was 2 for Liam Adams. So the Adams working together extremely well. 1 for Blake Brewer, who kicked the most recent goal. James Trezise kicked a set shot, and in the first quarter, Pever Wright also on the board. And for Nar Nar Goon, Dermot Yorney's just been held to the 1 goal, surprisingly, after 9 goals last week, 8 goals the week before. In fact, he's kicked 2 goals, Dermot Yorney. Still surprising, nonetheless, averaging 4.86 this year. And alongside him, Brendan Herman kicked a goal from 50. And Jeconiah Penny, who is probably leading our King G Trade Comfort Max goal of the day race, kicked 1 in the first quarter. Some brilliant innovation and dexterity. As we wait for the siren, it's the Seagulls by 22 points, looking to confirm their first seed. Siren blows and play resumes. McKenna and Trigg to do it all again. Trigg knocked it down to his teammates, who had 2 Seagulls pounce all over him. And the Goon have no time to play around. McKenna, McCaffer nearby. And it's holding the ball. Here is the Goon's chance. Just holding up play in the back line. The Seagulls. Now Jake Smith is the wide option. Yorney's the deeper option. Here he is! One of the better contested marks we've seen all day, along with James Trezise and Dermot Yorney. with another contender for our Fused by King G mark of the day. He's kicked 2 goals. He wasn't very active in the second quarter, but in the third quarter, he has a chance and he's missed it. Just drops that a little higher than usual, Dermot Yorney. And a rare miss. But the Goon able to get into their forward 50 quick out of the blocks. And now they have to trap it back inside. So we wait for Adam Oxley, who has a bystander to give the ball back to him. Here he is. And Oxley from fullback. He's off and they all migrate to the wing. From the side, almost. But in the end, it was Andrew Proctor who took the mark. Aerial strength. Short option in lenders. And in the first 2 minutes, we've already got the 2 in contention for mark of the day. Another pack forming. Down the ground to the wing. Trigg. Wanted it to be holding the ball. Wasn't in the end. Trigg rising again. Tapping it down. And it fell straight back into the contest. Not a lot of space for either side. Swarming towards the contest. As soon as the ball is being thrown up, even from the forward line, from the defensive line, as Parlberg captures it. Too far out to score as he slips. Backtracking. McKenna on short. Went further down the ground. A full forward. A punch in the end. It'll trickle out the back and they get boots of ball. A ball up at the top of the goal square. McCaffer head first. The hand passes work out. And now a banana-looking kick. Bounces along the ground. Tumbling forward, swirling around. Just waiting out the back lenders. Won't be able to have access at all. Trigg and McKenna. McKenna with front position, but he blocked out Trigg, and his teammate took advantage. McKenna still astern to centre half forward. Happily waiting, Cooper Ship, who steers one out wide. The left half back, had to wait at the mercy of the bounce. Penny goes bang, but bouncing back up on his feet, Adams. Teammate close by and exploiting the space at the wing is Herman. Withstood a couple. Gave it off to his teammate inside 50. Dermot Yorney has it again. Does he have the distance in him? He seems to be confidence infused. He's 50 out. He'll have to release it from 55, maybe 53. An important moment in this game where goals have been hard to come by since the first quarter. It's hanging up in the air. There's decent purchase on it, but it's another behind, and the margin lowers to 20. Oxley. Another possession for him. Now the right back pocket. Jordan Kelly. A captain a couple of years ago. McKenna from the side. Trezise took the crumbs. Smothered. Almost got it back again. McKenna did exactly that. He'll diversify out wide, but another boundary throw in. Trigg has to tap into someone's advantage here. Need to put the pressure on early. And they can. Homfray loitering. Bounce past him. Yorney, full-chested, takes it. And almost ran into the fence out of bounds. right on the arc of 50. 20-point lead. This game is still very much in the balance for the boys from Nar Nar Goon. Throw in, swaying to the left. Turning around. Purcell towards goal. Homfray will have to straddle the line here. Homfray again, this time at the Mitch variety. And it goes out of bounds. McCaffer takes it, as did Parlberg. And now his teammates did well to not turn it over, and Cairns knew that he kicked it out in the full. And James Trezise at half back will take it in. Sticks the slipper into it, down to the wing. McKenna, position A1. But at the back was Cairns again, and it's kicked forward. Here's a chance for Purcell, who whips around onto the right. Yorney, is he paid the mark? I think he took it anyway. He's a different kind of threat, and Cooper Ship seems to be... Yorney took advantage, played on, kicked the goal, and Nar Nar Goon are back within 14. But Cooper Ship, not sure why he's too angry, but he's showing his displeasure. And it's a 14-point margin. And Yorney with his third. Tensions are starting to flare. And a free kick has been paid. It'll go the way of the Seagulls out of the middle. Have to be aware of your behaviour in these situations. That's a high ball from Wilson out wide. Penny did well to obstruct, but now he has to collect it again. His opponent left without the footy and re-entered optimistically. McCaffer with body use and brute strength, and another tackle against his name. But a ball up. 40 out from the Seagulls goal. 8.5 minutes into this third quarter. It's the Seagulls by 14. They're yet to score. Nar Nar Goon with 1 goal and 2 behinds. Yorney just kicked his third. Kicking him along the carpet, out of bounds. We'll have to have a quick glimpse at the scores around the grounds. See if Garfield can muster their first win of the year. At the moment, they're leading Daleston by 42 points. Beaver Wright wanted to handle proceedings himself. Scooping it up. Bradley Homfray flicked out to the wing. Able to trap it, other Goon. And now they are streaming forward. Yorney won't be able to reach this one. In fact, he will. But the free kick was given away. Coralin, 106 against Cooey-Rups, 34. And Kilcunda Bass over at Corumbarabina, 49-38 in a tight third quarter. Hill at right full back. Numerous networks to select from. They head out of town to the wing. Kelly. Rob. Further down the ground they go. Out of the grasp of McKenna. And Trigg into the centre of play. Parlberg will negotiate with his teammate. He receives a bit of protection via Shepherd. And then kicks out to the wing. He repositions. Won't get it this time. Wilson will. Too far out to score. So there's some movement up forward. Only a little bit. Right beginning to trot. Trezise waiting at the back. Here he is, Trezise. Couldn't get complete control of it. Parker, no. And another behind for the Seagulls. 7-9-51 to 5-6-36. And the Dusties over at their home ground just clawed back a little. They trail by 23 points. While Bunyip trail by 40 on their home ground. Similar sort of play. It was a scrubbed ball, but it fell right into the lap of their teammate. Oxley rising and marking. Just a little pot kick over to Wilson, who put McCaffrey under duress, but he took the mark, and they sweep it out wide, approaching towards their goal. They'll need another mark up forward. It's kicked off the ground, out in the air. It's another behind. Play on is the call. Humphrey over the top. Now just relishing all the space ahead of him and then kicking long to 2-on-1. Wilson had Oxley as support, but he took the mark himself. Now Oxley is utilised. McCaffrey back in board for Lenders. Only had a split second to take the mark and set up play at centre half forward. Punched out of there, a strong spoil. And just telegraphed the kick for Penny. Off to the run of Smith, who turns it over into the hands of Dylan Wilson, who has been holding himself up in that back line all day long. Adam Oxley will give it a long amount of time in the air. The mark's taken down the line. Trezise. McCaffrey. Accumulating all the possessions at the moment. The Seagulls. Wright was ignored. He took it further down the pitch. And now they'll cast the idea inside of their forward line, who can line up about 50 out from goal and extend this margin to 22. Just need a goal to steady the ship, you'd think. With the Seagulls, they play on. Wright gives it a roost. And it's well acknowledged around the ground. Peter Wright kicks his second of the day. And the Seagulls are 8-10-58. And Nar Nar Goon 5-6-36 on the Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard. Play resumes again. Suarez now off the runway. Adams, long, Wright's down there. Trezise over the top. A gaping hole begins to open for Scanlon, who puts another on the board. And they are out in raptures here at Tooradin. A 28-point margin now for the Seagulls. We were waiting all day, and Scanlon finally delivers on his promise to continue the streak of goals. And where now for the Goon? Suarez in the ruck this time. Trigg knocking it forward. Noy there or thereabouts. Trigg another tackle. And they've just stepped up to a new level in the last few minutes, the Seagulls. Clubbed in the tackle, taken high. Blackwood to Herman. Loads up inside. Ship with the double fister out of bounds. Noy against Lenders. Lenders knocks it back, maybe to his own detriment. Gets it again. Hill. Trezise. Time to steady. Puts the foot into it right. McKenna beaten around right from 60 metres out. The crowd will erupt if this bounces through. Waiting on the goal line, taking it to ground. Egan, who got back up on his feet. And it was just touched on the line. And the sirens are still buzzing, but don't think they know. It was touched on the line. And the Goon, in an instant, move forward. Yorney has players ahead of the footy, but he didn't turn around. Now they'll travel over there. And the mark taken by Matthew Humphrey. A wild third quarter nonetheless. Goal for goal at the moment. And Matthew Humphrey, it's a helicopter sort of ball. Through for a minor score. "17 and a half minutes in, the Seagulls presenting as Suarez, and he's been given the 50, and Flynn Parker, a little unsavoury after that. McCaffer just lets him know. McKenna from the side. Still getting the McCaffer treatment. And Suarez, out of instinct, just went into the 50, and the mark is taken again. Sticky hands all around at the moment. The Seagulls just refusing to drop marks. And McCaffer is still chirping. Obviously has the licence to. And now it's Andrew Proctor's turn. He would run through a brick wall for Tooradin. One of the coaches said, I read in an article earlier this week, it's a great strike. It won't have the distance. It stays alive. Egan rising. And couldn't get away with it. And the Goon do instead. And it's kept in play, walking the tightrope of the Seagulls. Parlberg loads up. And kicks the goal. Or does he? It's a free kick. A lot of uncertainty over what's happened, but it is a free kick. And Pever Wright, who just kicked his second, will happily welcome a third. They're helpless at the moment, the Goon. Pever Wright, with his third of the day, a 34-point lead. Ten 11 71 to 5-7 37. Again, they have avoided the obstacle of the Goon, who have attacked and attacked, but 3 goals in a row for the Seagulls. 34-point leaders at the moment. McKenna in trouble. Ship brought to ground. High throw up. McKenna was nudged out of it. Now it's the Goons' turn. Strong mark, and as I said before, they're just refusing to drop them. Lenders takes a minor detour out wide for Hill. McCaffer finds himself at left half back. And a bit of system to their ball movement at the moment. Kelly, Brewer, Egan. Waits for a moment, was patient, probably too patient. And now the Goon can pounce, and they do. Taken after the play. He still released the kick, and it's a goal. And cue the tempers flaring. Murphy in his first game hits the scoreboard, and if that doesn't motivate the Goon, I'm not sure what will. Only 21 minutes into this third quarter, and 5 goals in the overall scheme of things is not impossible. It's 10-11, 71 to 6-7, 43. In the ruck, Trigg v McKenna. Trigg palmed it down, snapped it up again. And a ball up. In the middle again. Wrights on the left. It was deflected on the way through by Blackwood. Keeping it out of there. McCaffer buried into the turf. Might be slow to get up. In fact, it was McKenna. That's McCaffer. Tossing a high ball up in the air. Parker underneath it. Couldn't grab it. Darting away now to the outer side. And McKenna is back up on his feet. Lenders will stalk this footy, but it'll just go out of bounds. Centre wing. Seagulls by 28. 22 and a half minutes in. Right. Ball still there to be won as the numbers gradually multiply around the footy. And Trigg had a fair run up at it. Smith wasn't ready to commit fully. It bobbles around and bounces towards Mitch Humphrey. And now another shot towards goal. Yorney takes the mark. Always there in need. Dermot Yorney, 3 goals today. Intentions are clear. Needs a goal. Check side. And he's got it. 22 points the margin now. In fact, they've given him a behind. Well, I've certainly gone early. And it is a 27-point game, in fact. Oxley in full stride. To the wing. Wrights. Had a good look at it. As did Suarez. And now Adams. Penny. Smothers it out of bounds. 24 and a half minutes in to this third quarter. It's the Seagulls by 27. Bit of trash talk going on in the way of McKenna. High up and under again. Humphrey, Oxley punching it out. A lot of chirp going on. Still observing this. Waiting to get back on. Bradley Humphrey can't at the moment. Right. Stripped of it. Went with the second effort again. Noy this time emerging with the footy. McCaffer dragged him down in a tackle. And Wilson out to the wing. Suarez, but Parker wearing him like a glove brilliantly. And they switch play inboard. Cairns. Watch out behind you. McCaffer's always lurking. Purcell turns around, flicks it inside. Yorney ready to make a contest. Scrambled out of there. Penny this time on the left with a check side to full forward, a one-on-one. Ship had to hold his own. Snapped around the pack. And there's the goal that the Goon needed and desperately wanted. And they finally get it. Perfect execution all round. And it's a 21-point game. Trent Armour hits the scoreboard. "26 minutes through this third quarter. And do not underestimate this Nar Nar Goon side. In fourth place at the moment. But they can beat anyone. Trig again. Approaching their forward line again. To full forward. Ship at the front position. Out the back, Tooradin did well, and they rush it through. And the umpire says that's okay. Wasn't a lot of pressure surrounding him. Oxley to calm it down. Kelly. Couple of minutes to play. 27 minutes into this third quarter. Trezise, Parker join the throng. And a free kick going the way of the Goon. Against Stewie Scanlon. He's only kicked the one goal today. Came at a big moment. Parker. A big component of their team. And Yorney given the free kick. And you just sense they're getting under their skin a little bit at the moment, the Goon. And Dermot Yorney lining up for his fourth. 20 points down. They were down by 6 goals at one stage. But they're crawling their way back. And Dermot Yorney with his fourth of the day. 3 goals in a row for the Goon. Just to give this a little bit of life. Everything has happened today. We've had marks, we've had goals, we've had the trash talk in between. Big bumps laid. But what will this final chapter have for us? There's still a minute to play in this third quarter. But this Nar Nar Goon side is revitalised. McKenna again. And another ball up. 10-11 to 8-9. Trig had the open run. McCaffer able to tap it forward. Umpire calls play on. Kelly with a short poke. And it works. And inventing something, Egan has McCaffer. One last attack maybe for the Seagulls, but a punch out of bounds. Deep into this third quarter. Nearly 29 and a half minutes through. McKenna to the advantage of his teammate, who he then ran into. Right. Egan also on a crash course to the footy. And it's bashed out of there. Hammond towards the wing. Saving it from the car windscreens. The backman for the Seagulls, who gives it everything that he possibly has. McCaffer again. Trezise. Siren can't be too far away. It would have been their last hope as Parker takes the mark. It's a perilous kick. It hangs up in the air. But the Siren beats them all. And aren't we set up for another grand finish? We had one last week. We could have another one on our hands here. What a quarter it was. An absolute seesawing affair. Tooradin and Dalmore lead it by 14. They did lead it by 4 goals at halftime. And then they kicked 3 goals without answer. But the Goon have replied with 3 of their own. Excitement all around. But it's the home team who are having it taken up to them, as tensions did flare. And they might re-erupt in this last quarter. But we'll take a break. And we will see how it unfolds. It's Tooradin-Dalmore 10-11-71 to Nar Nar Goon 8-9-57 on your Totally Workwear Pakenham scoreboard.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I've been renewed. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I've been renewed. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I've been renewed. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
This is a story of a community. A community that likes to work hard. Digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe.
14 points in it are the Goon entering this last quarter. And we'll quickly have a check around the grounds because Garfield may break through for their first win of the season. They lead Daleston 74-27. Over at Corumburrabina, it's Kilcunderbass who lead them 62-46. Warragul Industrials, as we mentioned, need to win. And Nar Nar Goon also need to win in order for Nar Nar Goon to lift up to third spot. And they trail at 36-62. Over at Coralin, they lead Cooey-Rupp by 101 points. And Bunyip at home falling to Phillip Island by 72 points. All in the last quarter. But we have 20 minutes, of course, including time on of grueling football here at Tooradin. A 14-point game. How will it end? We'll find out. Just waiting for the siren. Delayed start, but here we go. McKenna and Trigg. Trigg with the first hit outs. The ball still remains ajar. Trezise bottled it up and received the free kick. Lenders has found him some space on the wing, as has Parlberg. They need to shut this off to the Goon. Egan. With ambitions to head forward. And he does. He raises it to full forward. Wright is sitting at the back. Just collecting the crumb. Here he is! Wright! With his fourth of the day. Couldn't have come at a better time. And 40 seconds in, just like that, the Seagulls have a 20-point lead. (11-11), 77 to 8-9, 57. And in the first 40 seconds, the Seagulls with the opening goal of this last quarter. And now it's the Goons' turn. Who can show up? Propping up for the disposal was Homfrey. He was brought down in a mean tackle. Smith loping after this. He collects it at right half forward. Yorney's meandering up forward. Plenty of movement. And he chips it. It was a 1-on-5. Numbers in favour of the Seagulls, but a free kick going the way of the Goon. Cooper Purcell to cancel out Pever Wright's goal. Needs to do so. Can't miss these opportunities. He's a multi-sport specialist. He's won best and fairest before. But he can't kick the goal in the pivotal moments. Oxley takes it short. Trezise standing still at the wing. He'll have to modify his approach if he is to run after this, which he does. Has his input, falls to ground. He's caught the play on. And then crashing on through and hand passing out of bounds because of the Flynn Parker tackle was Stephen Robb. Seagulls by 19. 3 minutes into this last. Right. McCaffrey able to shark. Parker in a 1v1. He was the coverage. The defensive mindset continues because they've won the free kick. Flint Parker and Sam Blackwood able to collaborate. Blackwood in a couple of minds. But he goes through the centre of the ground. And that can spell danger. Oxley on the reverse. It won't be Oxley's ball. Oxley still might bypass, but he doesn't. Another dangerous kick that hangs up in the air. Well done by O'Sullivan. McCaffrey gives the Shepherd. O'Riordan inside for McKenna. Cairns unable to contain him. 50 metres out. Plays on. And Suarez has it. But he's given away the free kick. Wow. Right in front of our eyes in the box. It was given away. The mark was taken by Suarez and then foolishly his teammate, or it might have been Suarez, gave it away, and 50 metres against him as well. And this is how games flip on their end. Blackwood will frolic over to the wing with Suarez still standing on the mark. Smith now covered by Rob at the wing. Penny is feasible, but he doesn't take him. Out to the wing. Strode showed strong faith in his teammates up forward, including Homfrey, but Lenders was able to sit in the hole and take the mark. Back to the same place. Suarez is in there. At the back, Cairns flying in. Another contender for our mark of the day. And he'll take it sensibly to Smith. Who dropped the ball, fell to ground. Trezise with the tackle. Still play on. Trezise again. And he's taken high. And when aggression can hurt you, it does. And limping out of it, coming off second best, is Stephen Robb. Hopefully he's okay. What else does this game have for us? It's been everything. Homfrey to the wing. Another Homfrey takes the mark. No man in front with Suarez. McCaffrey sprinting to get open. Trezise is down the wing. Here he is, Trezise. Cairns also, Trezise. Beaten up in the air. Fed the hand pass through. Holding up. And from a standing start, Cairns. To no avail. Proctor. Again, similar to his opponent, slipped. Important input by Pipicelli. Penny opened the runway for Homfrey. Penny still after it. Homfrey as well. Off the shin of the Seagull. At the wing, they still move. Lenders. Another ball up. 7 minutes into this last quarter. And it's the Seagulls by 19. Right, with the back tap. Penny took initiative to lay the tackle. Trigg. But McCaffrey. Can he impose himself? He can, but he turned it over. And in the back line, swiftly moving. Another dangerous kick, putting their teammates under unnecessary pressure. A lot of pressure associated with this kick as well, as Murphy attacked at full chest, and he's taken high. And Scanlon hasn't had his greatest day of the year. Gives away the free kick. Homfrey at the wing. Measures one across, but over the top of Noy and into the hands of Scanlon. Always finding a way to prop up Parker. But blocked out of it is Suarez. And as the numbers shift forward, the pressure continues to rise. McCaffrey screaming audibly. You can hear him. Suarez into the 50. Who can mark? Egan can! An audacious move to start talking before he's kicked it. But if he can back it up, and rightly so, but 9 minutes into this last quarter, Brady Egan to give them a 25-point lead. And his confidence will be at an all-time high. And his kicking is too. The Seagulls lead it by 25. 12-11-83 to 8-10-58. Back in the middle. Seagulls by 25. Suarez wants to put an end to all of this. Adams rakes it in. Scanlon with the option. But he goes to the one-on-one. Right. Blackwood was the scaffolding. And then the other Blackwood able to get it. Just climbing over the line. But he didn't reach it, and it's holding the ball. Unusual decision. But Johnny Duff hasn't been too eventful today, but a goal now would be one of his big moments. He misses off to the right. Taking a bounce the old-fashioned way, drifting the kick over to the wing. Armour takes the mark. Wants to move the ball on and does so. Hurried hand passes everywhere. McKenna chops it off. Suarez goes forward. Right! Almost out the back. Adams has Trezise. Took it on himself. It was smothered. Probably should have used Trezise. Pippicelli did well. Extremely well. And they can concede some ground in the back line if they just want to hold it. But they attack Homfrey. Splatters to ground and another ball up at forward of the 50 arc for Tooradin-Dalmore. McKenna. Slung to ground for the Goon, and is it 50 metres? No. Herman to centre half forward. Over the back. Homfrey couldn't pick it up cleanly. And again, the defence. All there on deck. They hold the guard up, out to the wing. Adams. Trent Adams, short to the wing. And a probing ball inside 50. Parker takes off on his bike, wheeling forward. Bit of an errant ball. Might just stay in, but Dean Kelly doesn't want it to. 25 points the difference. 13 minutes through this last quarter. The Goon need a goal. Just to kickstart some momentum. Punched forward by Trigg. Hunting after the footy. Kelly. And the opportunity evaporates again as Oxley to half forward. Kelly. Parker able to punch it out. And a ball up or a throw in, take your pick. High throw in. Right. Had a teammate nearby and sweeping it up. Just miscuing the hand pass slightly. Trigg was able to make do. It bounces around. Homfray with a tackle. Trezise picks it up. Homfray will receive the free kick. Armour takes it into the 50 and a mark has been reeled in. Or has it? Wow, Yorney certainly thought so. Another contentious decision. Adams. Tooradin-Dalmore going forward again. Right. Found a little channel to lead into. Has space, but he sends it forward with a booming kick, and it works. And Johnny Duff runs into the open goal, and the Seagulls are just about home. Tooradin-Dalmore by 32. They've staved off the efforts of Nar Nar Goon all day. And a fast-paced last quarter has been to their benefit. Trigg. Herman attempting to keep it alive. And he does. Knocks it forward. Gets it back. But he was crunched by the tackle of O'Riordan. Homfray. Herman again lines up to goal. Almost out the back. In fact, it is off the ground. It's missed. Didn't make the distance, did Matthew Homfray's kick. In the back line, they just forestall the danger again, but it'll be a free kick for the Goon. "16 minutes in, 32 points behind. Never a better time for a goal. A tough angle. He's missed off to the right. Oxley charging ahead. Trezise. McCaffer. Egan. Right. And a free kick going the way of the Goon. Short kick inside. Trigg played it safe. Parker at the wing, but he wobbles one to centre half forward. In fact, Parker might end up with it. Shoved into the ground, taken without the ball as the Goon. They'll have it too far out to score. But they can set up an attack through Blackwood, who had a teammate passing by. Instead, he settles for himself and nothing came into fruition. Andrew Proctor, many marks today, adds another to the tally. And what will be a bittersweet victory for the Seagulls if they can hold on. At half back and a whistle has been blown. Just wait for the decision. Nope, they'll just redo the passage. Parlberg across to Brewer. Dances on the line, but he's run down. Bradley Homfray. And Herman took advantage. He'll get it back. And with all his momentum from 55 out, has a ping at goal. And that is a quality finish from Brendan Herman. He kicks his second of the day. A bright spot today for Nar Nar Goon, Brendan Herman. And regardless of if they win or not, Inverloch Congwack have done what they needed to do out at Warragul. So Nar Nar Goon will remain in fourth position, but they're pressing late here. O'Sullivan goes forward. It'll be on its way back to the wing. Cairns, a cruel bounce for Trezise. McKenna, handball back to his teammates. Took a short kick. Homfrey scrubs one forward. Fell in the lap by chance. So his teammate at centre half forward, and Yorney over his head has to make do. Thrusting himself at ship, and it's out of bounds. Into time on. The Seagulls by 25. The Goon need a spark desperately. Yorney, Herman, who just kicked his second. And another ball up, about 50 out from goal. Slapped forward with the double fist. It's flushed away out of the defence. To the wing they go. Kelly. Confidence within his step. And it's a spiralling ball forward. Ship. Taken down in the tackle, and it's holding the ball. Jeconiah Penny has to kick this. "21 minutes in, he centres it instead for Herman. The time is against them. No time to settle. They need some urgency attached to them, do the Goon. The runner in full voice telling him to kick it. And Brendan Herman does exactly that. He has 3. It's a 19-point game. 21 and a half minutes in. Do you believe? $13-12, 90 to 10-11, 71. "22 minutes in. Minimal margin for error. For Nar Nar Goon, Trigg needs to have an important hit out here, and he does. Held without it, O'Sullivan. And he'll have to come back on his line. But time will stop for that moment. And now he does on the left. Into the hot spot again. Yorney crushed the pack. Penny is still lurking. Makes its way out to the 50. O'Sullivan again is the ball carrier. He was influenced, as is Cairns, taken without it. They all drop to ground. McKenna can begin the fast break. It still is loose. Trezise attempting to create something. And a ball up. 65 out from the Seagulls' goal. 23 minutes in. Trigg. Proctor head first, taken high. And a goal here would probably be the finishing touch to a glorious day for the Seagulls, at least at the moment. Proctor to Trezise. Assessing every individual option, and Peaver right. Will have the distance in him from 50, 55 out. Rarely a dull game for Peaver right. A former star forward for Dandenong. Noble Park is played in the VFL for Richmond. And he's kicked the sealer here at Tooradin today. The Seagulls are delighted. 24 minutes in. And they lead it by 25 points. And now they'll see out the final couple of minutes against a gallant Nar Nar Goon side. Trig. O'Sullivan. Hand passes are worked again. And Yorney to have a fifth. Not that time. Preventing them from escaping, though, the Goon defence. Rather, the Goon forwards playing that defensive line. Herman falls short. And Ship to the outer side that they can open up. And they do. Watch out behind. Big crunch by Trig into the lap of Homfrey. And Smith. Over to Young. Looking to see who could work and who has the capabilities of mustering something late here. Oxley demanded a lot from his teammate, but he obliged at half back. Short Ship. Can they add on one more? 25 and a half minutes in. At right half back. Just letting the clock run out for the moment. McCaffer, arms were fully stretched. Oxley banging it up the field. McKenna, but his opposing number, Parker, takes the mark. Sells some candy on the mark. And then turns it over right back in the hands of Oxley, who falls to ground, maybe playing for the 50. The Seagulls holding up play. They know they have it in the bag, and what a win it has been. And there is the siren. And the Seagulls did not succumb today. They were challenged. They had the kitchen sink thrown at them by this Nar Nar Goon side, who had a valiant effort. And as the song rings out for the Seagulls, they will claim first position and enter the finals as the most prestigious side in the competition. We'll have the post-game shortly as the celebrations ring out in Tooradin.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together,
A competitive game here at Tooradin sees the home side winning by 25 points against Nar Nar Goon. Here for our post-game show, sponsored by Totally Workwear and fused by King G for the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round. It was Toordain-Dal 14-12-96 against Nar Nar Goons. 10-11-71 leading goal kickers for the winning side. Peter Wright with 4 goals, 3 of them in the second half. Liam Adams and Trent Adams with 2 goals each. In the first quarter, it was Liam. In the second quarter, it was Trent. And then single goals for Stuart Scanlon, Johnny Duff, Blake Brewer, and James Trezise. And for Nar Nar Goon, 4 goals for Dermot Yorney. Could have easily had 6 or 7. Did miss some at crucial moments, but nonetheless, he played another wonderful game. So 4 goals for Dermot Yorney. Brendan Herman kicked 3. And Trent Armour kicked 1, whilst the first gamer, Jed Murphy, was able to contribute with 1 on the scoreboard as well. But to our Fused by King G mark of the day, there were plenty to select from. Andrew Proctor had a couple, Dermot Yorney. James Cairns, probably a little unlucky to miss out, but I've gone with James Trezise, who took a contested mark. He took the contact and consumed every bit of air after he took it right to the chest, but he has won the Fused by King G mark of the day. And for our King G Trade Comfort Max goal of the day, again, a wide range, but Jeconiah Penny for Nar Nar Goon in the first quarter. He was a bit of a nuisance for the Seagulls to deal with, but he did kick one early in the first. It was a snap out of the pack, and it fooled a couple of people right on the goal line and bounced through for a goal. A shorter post-game show today, of course, with no Bailey Allen, no Kyle Pover. Unfortunately, there weren't any special comments today. But next week, we will see where we're at shortly. I hope you enjoyed today. It was a great contest. It was Nar Nar Goon who led it at the first change. Toordain-Dal with 4-0 in the second term. Nar Nar Goon and Toordain-Dal both had 3 goals apiece in the third quarter. But in the end, Toordain-Dal, the home side, win it by 25 points. And Peter Wright had the final say as they continue their march on into the finals with the first seed against their name, all locked away. And we'll have a quick swing around the grounds because Garfield have won their first game of the year against Daleston at home. They were victors 105-35 by 70 points in the end. Kilcunda Bass over at Corumbarabina in a tight game by 8 points, 75-67. Inverloch Congwack doubled the Dusty score to win 90-45. Coralin defeated Cooey Rupp 157-56, and Phillip Island, a leading Bunyip, by 80 points at home. As we take a look at the ladder, Toordain-Dal 4 points ahead of Phillip Island, but a percentage increase of about 68. And Phillip Island, unless they win by about 300, 400 points, won't be taking the first position anytime soon. Nar Nar Goon will be in 4th position. Coralin won't be able to reach them. So the finals are basically set. Coralin will play the Dusties next week in what should be preparation for their first final. And we will see where we're at next week. We will announce it on the Facebook page shortly, but an overall thank you for Harrison Carbis with the camera work. I'm Dylan Beaumont. Thank you for Fairhaven Homes, fused by King G, the King G Trade Comfort Max, and Totally Workwear with the new store open in Pakenham. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week.